to him again too, man. The dude right here, bro, because y'all don't understand, like, this dude is gonna come up too because I love support. I just love the Colorado scene for real. When people are really trying to do shit, like really trying to get down, like he's really trying to do this. Like y'all gotta hit him up too. Y'all got businesses going on. Like he'll for sure put you on the podcast for sure.
My dog, Transparent Podcast, the best podcast in Colorado Springs. It's my real mud brother. Like when I say we was really in the trenches together, we was really in the trenches together. You always showed me love. Hell, we met in the trenches together, so you always showed me love. I'm always going to show you love. You forever my dog. Love, bro.
Everybody go follow transparent_podcast_co. Those are my people.
To yet another episode of Transparent Podcast. We have a very special guest with us today. Could you please introduce yourself, let them know your name and then where you're from?
Yeah, my name's Jenna. Jenna. People kind of go back and forth. I'm from Ohio originally. Lived there my whole life, went to college there, lived in Pittsburgh for like 4 years, and then I just moved to Denver about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Sweet. So originally like Midwest-ish?
Midwest, yeah.
So how was Ohio for the most part?
I mean, like now that I'm older and I look back on it, it was a great place to grow up. But like, you know, being in high school was like tough there because I grew up in a really small town. Okay. So like my graduating class was probably 120 people. So you know everyone. Shoot. Yeah.
That's small.
So you know everyone like 4 grades above, 4 grades below, and like it's kind of hard to come into like your own person in a town like that, you know, and like just try different things and like worry about being judged all the time. So like getting out of there was nice, but now that I'm older, it's nice to go back and like visit my family and stuff.
Sweet. Well, on camera, I do want to thank you for coming and spending some time with us today. Just a few questions and things like that for you, but starting off. I know you have a really cool whip outside, but could you just talk to us a bit about some of your different hobbies and things like that, and tell us how you got into that?
Yeah. So my motorcycle is outside. Yeah. I have a lot of different hobbies. That's definitely a main one. I got into that because my dad owns a motorcycle business back in Ohio.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and so it actually started with my great-grandpa, and then my grandpa had it, now my dad has it. I don't have any brothers, so it might end with my dad, unfortunately. Okay. But yeah, so I grew up like riding dirt bikes and stuff, kind of always knew how to ride, and then like I always knew I was gonna get a motorcycle one day. I was just kind of waiting for the right time.
Okay. And
I just got that bike in March of this year. Sweet. So I try to stay riding as much as I can out here.
Man. So I'm curious to know, when you started running, was it like was it a huge learning curve for you, or did you kind of just pick up on it naturally? Like when did you actually like start first getting on a bike?
On a motorcycle, not a dirt bike. Yeah, so there's like a basic rider course that you can take, and the funny thing is like I grew up, like I said, riding dirt bikes, so I went into that like being so cocky, and I was like way overconfident. Yeah. So I took the basic rider course last year and I failed it, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so that like I really took a big hit to my ego in that, and I realized like, okay, you got to kind of start back from square one. Like, you know, there's certain things that you kind of pick back up on like the shifting, stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so the first time I did it, I failed. I was so upset, and then I tried it again earlier this year, like when I first got my bike. Yeah. And yeah, it was a very humbling experience for sure. But now that I'm on it, it's like riding a bike. You know, you just pick back up on it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like I'm not 100% sure, but like it seems like for someone like you say you were used to the dirt bike. Mm-hmm. I could see that people who started off or were already like used to something before they go to the class, like maybe they're just so used to learning a certain way and they know what they're doing that like the class almost kind of slows it down and like they want you to do things in steps, if that's maybe how.
Right.
Yeah, so I could see how that was just like neat.
Yeah, you got to start back from square one. And like, I don't know, I will say also that first class I took, I don't know if it was because I was a woman or what, but the instructors were pretty like tough. And so it just made me like real jumbled up in my head, you know what I mean? I was like nervous the whole time. So that was another thing that kind of played into it.
Couldn't really stay within your element?
Right.
Okay. I wanted to ask you too, because I know you do a little bit of like snowboarding too?
Yeah, I have.
That's what's up.
I have a lot of hobbies. So I do snowboarding, I pole dance, I'm into art, so like drawing, painting. I have a tattoo machine, so like I've done like a couple tattoos on myself.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so like a lot of different stuff, but I got into snowboarding. My ex taught me actually during the winter of COVID, so that's how I get into that.
Oh, well, hey, at least COVID, you picked up on a new skill.
Yeah, it was great.
What's up?
Yep.
So too, I know you mentioned art. So you have a art page and everything, right?
Yeah.
You want to shout that out?
Yeah, sure. So my art page is J Warden, so the letter J, WORDEN _ art.
Sweet. So definitely check that out for the art and all that good stuff. I wanted to get into some kind of like relationship stuff, all that good stuff. So starting off, when it comes to like dating or relationships in general, what are your kind of like top 5 red flags that if you were talking to someone or they were trying to talk to you, vice versa, that like if this happened, this is either like a deal breaker or you like, I just can't when it comes to this thing?
Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot from like my previous relationships. So I would say number one would be like love bombing and wanting to hang out all the time. So love bombing, I don't know are you familiar with the term?
I've never heard that.
Okay, so love bombing is basically when you first meet someone and they shower you with like a million compliments, make you feel like you're the luckiest girl in the world, you know, like I've never met anyone like you, like, you know, something like that.
Okay.
So when that happened to me in my previous relationship, it makes you feel so good, right? You're like, oh my God, like he's in love with me, you know?
Yeah.
But it's actually a huge red flag, and it turns into manipulation like later on down in the relationship because they reel you in and then they use it as they'll either leave you or they use it as some kind of like just a manipulation tactic, you know? So love bombing for sure, and like wanting to spend every waking moment together.
Would that, I don't mean to cut you off, would that be kind of going into like a clinkiness a little, or not really? Or
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But like, if you want to spend every waking moment with me, like, you should have a life too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to hang out with my friends, I want to like go motorcycle riding, I have hobbies and stuff like that, and I would expect the person that I'm with to also like have things that they want to do, not with me all the time.
Yeah. So just having that healthy balance.
Yes, healthy balance for sure.
That's what's up. So, any more red flags for you, or is that like the main one?
Those are like the main ones.
Okay.
I would say also just like laziness too. Like if you just want to like play video games and smoke weed all day, like that's fine. But like if you do that all day, I don't know about that. You know.
Might not last with her.
Right.
Got you. So, two, when it comes to relationships, getting into another little question. And this one I kind of ask a lot of my viewers when we talk like relationships, and I always get different answers on the same question. But for you, in your opinion, does height matter?
I don't think it matters as long as you're not shorter than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? For those who watching, what's roughly your height?
I'm 5'2".
Okay.
So I'm pretty short. Yeah.
Okay. So now digging a little deeper. Would 5'3" be doable, or is that like?
I mean,
or do you have like a minimum like little gap?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really just depends on the person. Like, if I'm super into the person, then it's not gonna matter that much. But yeah, like I don't want to be like bending down to kiss somebody. I don't know.
Okay, so maybe within a few inches taller or so.
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So I also wanted to ask. This is one that is kind of like, I would say, a touchy topic-ish, but when it comes to like finances, normally it's like a real sensitive topic, but especially when it comes to relationships. To you, do you think that finances should be discussed in a relationship with, say, someone that you're potentially, you know, everything's going good and you might be taking them serious? should it be like, okay, let's talk about finances and maybe, I don't know, even have like get a joint account or something like that, or should it be maybe even talk about, but it's like, hey, like your money is yours, mine is mine, and what's your take on that?
I definitely think you should talk finances for sure. Reason being is like I support myself, and so I wouldn't want to, like, I want to be with someone that also supports themselves as well, and like I'm not supporting them, and I wouldn't expect the same for them to support me, you know.
Okay.
I've been in relationships before where like I think there was kind of a facade in the beginning where like the person did take care of themselves, and then as we continued to date, it was like, well, I'm like broke right now, and like I need you to cover this, which is totally fine, but we need to have that discussion, and like I need to adjust my expectations for, you know, continuing the relationship.
So like on that, is that something that you feel from like that experience, do you feel that like now should that be something talked like kind of early into the I don't know, talking phase or what have you, or is that like, because like obviously you don't want like to be like, hey, let's go out, whatever, and then they get there and then they're like you got the bill, right? And
right.
Like, do you think there's like a, I don't know, specific time that should come up? Because maybe not first date, you want to be like, hey, like,
yeah,
how much money do you have?
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not having like how much money do you have or like how much do you make, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not like that in the beginning, but I do think being mindful of like going out on dates and stuff. So if you don't want to pay for dinner, you don't want to go out, just be like, hey, you want to come over and like we'll make food at home or something like that. Just because like I'm trying to save money right now or something like that. I think that's like probably the best way to go about it, especially if you're in that beginner phase.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be transparent and be like, I'm just not trying to spend all this money right now. Like, let's do things that are like free or cheap, you know?
And that, I definitely respect that. And it brings me it brings up an example in my head I just thought of when I won't say his name, but like one of my buddies, we went to, it was kind of like a birthday celebration for someone, and we all went out to what was the place? STK in Denver.
Is that a steakhouse?
Yeah,
okay,
some like nice little steakhouse. A more like, you know, a little expensive place. So we all went out, and it was like for someone's birthday, and they're like, oh, we all going here. So like it was like, okay, you know, we're coming. And one of my buddies, he had like the funds, you know, to get you know, something there, but like when he looked at the menu, he just like, you know, in his head, he like, I can't see myself paying $100 for like, you know, some food or steak, something I'm gonna just, you know, eat real quick or whatever. So he actually was like open and was like, hey man, he was like, I'm gonna just get something like one of the appetizers or something or whatever. He's like, I'm just not trying to spend money like that, you know, which, you know, was respected. And then there was another person at the table that they were like they were like staring at the menu for like longer than the majority of people, and they like were like trying to like, I guess, find something, and then they like found something on the menu, and then after they picked whatever was on the menu, they like kind of complained the whole time. They're like, oh man, this place is expensive, we should blah blah blah. And then when it comes time for the bill, they're like, oh, like, you think you can spot me or whatever, and it's like after they already like, versus like being open, like, hey, I don't got it like that, or, you know, I'll just get like a water, or, you know, just chill out. So I definitely respect, like, you know, like what you said, if that person were to say like, hey, let's make something at home, I'm just trying to save some money, you know, not trying to spend. So that's cool. Also, I wanted to ask, when it comes to specifically mental health, and not just in like relationships, but in general with women, do you feel that mental health is, one, talked about enough? Do you think it's ignored? And what is the importance of mental health, whether, I don't know, you've had a mental health journey yourself, as far as like, you know, either healing from something or just learn something in general that you could share with maybe women out there, or just some advice when it comes to their mental health in general?
Yeah, I've definitely had my journey with mental health. I think after I graduated college was the hardest time for me, like mentally, because that was when I had first kind of moved out of Ohio. I lived in Pittsburgh. I like didn't know anyone, and I like got super, super depressed, and I didn't really know I was depressed. I didn't know, because I had never felt that before, you know, and it was just all this sadness. Like, I was just like crying every night going to sleep, and I just like literally just wanted to disappear. Like, it wasn't like suicidal, but I just didn't want to be here. And like at that time, I didn't know how to ask for help, and that was like the biggest problem. I think I just felt so like on this earth, like alone, you know. And I think a lot of that like stemmed out of my childhood as well. I'm the oldest child, and I think I took on a lot of like just responsibility, and like didn't ask for help when I was a kid either. Like I'm like hyper independent.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So I didn't know like who to ask, like how to ask for help. So yeah, it got pretty bad, but then eventually I went and saw a therapist, and that like started changing my life.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go on medication, so I actually started microdosing mushrooms, and it helped my mental health so much.
Really?
Yeah, I did that for probably like 6 months because I just didn't want to take like antidepressants, because I felt like they would like cover up the problem. So yeah, I tried to go more towards like the alternative health, like holistic therapy, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so I did that, and stayed in therapy for like 2 or 3 years, and learned so much about myself. Learned a lot, like healed a lot of like my childhood trauma through therapy, and now I feel like it's really helped me like, first of all, recognize when I'm starting to get to that point. I have like different tools that I can use to get myself out of that, to not go down that deep.
Yeah, you don't want to go back down that path.
Right. Yeah. And so yeah, so I don't know. It just I learned a lot of different like coping mechanisms, and like just learned a lot about myself. And I think that like mental health is definitely overlooked for women and men.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times for mental health, like if we would just look at it more as like holistically, then maybe we could like solve the problem a little better.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
no, that's good. And I like that you brought up like you went and actually talked and saw someone, like kind of counseling. Could you too just quick touch on like the importance, or like just how big of an impact like actually, because you know there may be like young teens out there, or young women, young men that like may be dealing with stuff, and you know maybe like you know talking to someone is not like the first thing on their like thing, or they like kind of like you, how you say you was kind of just, you know, you had all this weight on your shoulders, responsibility, and you were kind of just trying to like, you know, I can figure it out. But how crucial was that when you actually did have someone to talk to and like counsel? Like, do you recommend that people do that, or?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was so broken. Like when I remember my first appointment with my therapist, I didn't even say a word. I sat down on the couch and just started bawling my eyes out. And I think my first words I said to her was like, I just don't know who I am. And so I highly recommend like finding a therapist. But the thing about therapy is like, maybe the first person you go to isn't going to be a match. Like finding a therapist is kind of like being in a relationship a little bit, because you have to trust that person that you're like spilling your whole life to.
Exactly.
And you have to feel seen and heard by that therapist. So like not every therapist is going to be the right match for you.
Okay.
And I just got lucky by like the first lady I went to. She was awesome, like literally changed my life.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, Francine. Love you, Francine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like don't get discouraged if you do go and you feel like it's not helping. The two options would be try to find a different one that you feel like you can connect with, or just keep going. Because I know that there were definitely like sessions that I would go to where I felt like, okay, well that didn't really do anything for me today. But like it's kind of more like a gradual over the time thing.
Like a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon, 100%. Yeah.
Wow, I appreciate you sharing that. That's real good little nuggets that you know the viewers can you know maybe take heed to, or if there's someone out there going through something, like obviously like she's here, she doesn't have to share this with us, but she is, and you know she's been through certain things in life, and like she said, the talking to someone and actually kind of opening up to someone who like, and she said she found somebody that she felt she could trust. It actually helped. So don't be afraid to go out there, ask for help, and you know just kind of let it all out, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then I had another question for you. Do you have any advice to men or women that? So there's, I guess, certain things in a relationship that women feel that men, I guess, always get wrong, and then I guess vice versa that men feel women like fail at. Do you, either on the men or women's side, do you feel that there's a thing that guys always mess up on, or is I don't want to say always mess up on, but it's like a thing that almost like a lot of women say like almost all guys like do this, or like they all whatever, something that's almost kind of conclusive, I guess. Do you have any things that you would say that's like a thing that like, I don't know, most men or even most women, if you want to go that route, don't like get right or don't understand about the opposite gender?
I mean, I feel like women are pretty simple creatures, and like men think we're so complicated and we need all these things, but like we pretty much say what we need, what we want, what we need. Like if, I mean, I don't think I've ever asked a guy this, but like if your girl's asking you to like not like this other girl's pictures on Instagram or something like that, like just don't do it. Why is it so hard, you know? I mean, I've never asked for that because I don't think I've ever been with a guy that like has done that. Yeah. But like that's one thing where I do see on like social media or just like from my friends. It's like, why can't he just do that? You know what I mean?
But it seems so like simple.
Yeah, it's so simple. And so like if a lady or like if she wants to like hang out with you or something, like just hang out with her. Don't, you know what I mean? We ask for what we want. Just listen to it.
Okay. So that's an interesting take. Men, if it's something that, I don't know, she's asking you to do, and it's something as simple as like, hey, like, we're in a relationship, don't like these pictures, just do it.
It's simple.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody out there take heed and listen. Like,
yeah.
Knowing that most people probably don't listen, then they're not gonna listen to us.
Yeah.
Let's go in one ear out the other. No. But no, listen to your significant other. But lastly, first, again, I do appreciate you, coming, sharing, just letting everybody kind of know who you are. My little viewers definitely will appreciate it, and the growing little transparent family out there. But if anyone wants to like tap in, check out like any I don't know, motorcycle footage, snowboarding stuff, whatever you got going on, you have any socials, anything you want to plug in?
Yeah, so my main Instagram is JenWorden, so JEN_WORDEN. I have my art page, which I plugged.
Yep.
I also have a dance page. I do pole dancing, like pole fitness. So my page for that is freespirit.flow. So if you want to see any moves, I'm starting to teach in a couple weeks. So. Oh shoot. Yeah, so I'm really excited. So.
Hey, she do it all.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Got a lot of hobbies. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I really, want to thank you for again coming out, sharing with us today. And then maybe too, if we get some, some pics or something of the motorcycle, maybe we'll plug it in or something like that. But
for sure.
On camera, I want to thank you for coming on. The viewers, thank you for watching. And everyone out there, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and watching yet another episode of Transparent Podcast. And we'll see you guys later.